Thursday from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. That's right, 2 hours of fun right now because we can't get it all in 1 hour, especially when we're talking about real estate and finance and in detail. And that's what we're talking about today. What's really happening in the real estate and financial markets today. Not old news, not hype news. In fact, we just were touching on that. We're here with Jeff Hunter with Real Pro Advantage, one of the top short sale negotiating teams. No, it is the top, period. There is no other. They rock, and they have helped over 800 of you out there with your short sale negotiations in successful fashion. There's a big difference. And,
and if people don't realize what the repercussions or what the benefits of a short sale were and why they should have done that, that's 800 people that can get back into the housing market as much as 5 years earlier than they would have if they let their home go to foreclosure.
That's right.
It's a you should be proud about that. You and Amy just killing it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, a lot of those. I mean, it's a lot of numbers. It's actually that's successful short sales, not counting the ones that fall out, don't get approved,
It happens.
It happens. Yeah, buyers are putting multiple offers in on multiple properties, and so we get that's maybe 1,200 approvals. But it's a good number and it's growing.
Well, why don't we talk about that, Jeff? Let's give. I mean, even though you've been on our show now 3 or 4 times, 5 times, because you come on with some of our other guests that you successfully work with, some of our real estate professionals. Let's talk a little bit about what you and Amy do. What Real Pro Advantage is. What is the advantage of working with you guys, and what's going on in the short sale world today?
Okay. Well, my opinion of the advantage of working with Real Pro Advantage. Pardon me.
Actually, let's start with where you came from and where the real advantage comes from, because you came from the dark side.
Yeah, I did. I worked for many years for a pretty substantial mortgage servicer called Option One Mortgage. They were purchased by another company called American Home Mortgage Servicing, who's now owned by Ocwen.
Okay.
Ocwen owns everybody.
Oh yeah, I pay them.
Yeah,
me too.
Seems like everybody does. Ocwen, SPS, Nation Star. They're the 3 big players.
Meaning who you pay your mortgages to.
That's
they're
right.
Servicing companies. They may not actually own the mortgage, but they're servicing it.
That's
correct?
right. That's correct. Okay. Some they may buy the notes outright, and may own your loan, or they may be servicing it. They do.
Okay.
It runs the gamut there. So that's my background. As I've said many times before, and I tell this to people as much as I can, that it having that background gives me so much insight to when I'm looking at a file. It is nothing I haven't seen. I've done so many transactions, closing 50+ deals a month for 6 or 7 years working for the bank. There's not a deal I haven't seen. So as realtors call us, homeowners call us, ask us how, why, where, who, we have the answers.
Right, which is key. And Gino and I talk about that all the time. The amount of experience by the amount of transactions you work on makes a big difference. If somebody's doing onesie twosies, how good? I always use the analogy: how good are you going to be of a tennis player if you play once a month?
That's right.
Now, if you
or a golfer.
Or a golfer. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
well,
let's not go there, please.
That explains how good Gino and I are.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll go back to short sales and the expert.
Absolutely.
But you do so many transactions. You know what to look for, especially you already knew what the banks were looking for.
That's right. That's right.
Key.
And it does. It helps every day on any given file that I get an answer that doesn't make sense. And not necessarily. I'm not obviously the only one that does negotiations over there. Amy, obviously, while I was at the bank doing my thing, she was on her own, working with all the realtors in town, making a name for herself, closing
doing a great job,
hundreds and hundreds of short sales on her own. Kind of when the short sale world started, she cut her teeth on it and was in it before a lot of people knew
to even do that.
Exactly.
Right.
So, again, for those of you who don't know, that's how I met her. I was negotiating deals on one side, she was on the other. Had a great relationship. She understood what was going on, how the process worked, which, quite frankly, is very few and far between. I can't tell you how many. And realtors, I love you.
Disclaimer.
How many people? Not. We'll exclude the Santa Clarita Valley, but I worked. We worked loans in 48 states, so title, escrow, real estate attorneys who had no idea what they were doing, and so It's a small percentage of the people that do. Myself, Amy, Cynthia, and Archie, to me, you know, there's nothing that we can't do.
Right. Oh, that's
and
great.
I agree. I mean, we have seen you over and over. We love working with you. When you guys are involved in a transaction as opposed to a real estate agent who's trying their best,
well, let's
but
talk
that's
about
not their
that for a
expertise.
sec. I was just going to say, that's not their job.
No.
You know, a real estate agent that's negotiating their own short sales, they're doing that out of convenience, or they're doing that because they can, but that's not what they do.
Sure.
So just because I can do something, it doesn't mean I'm really good at it.
They could do loans too if they want.
Yeah.
We suggest them not to do that.
No.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I could do okay maybe fixing my car, but I'm not really good at it. So,
Right.
you know,
No,
it's important to hire a specialist. So, you know, one of the things that I think is important is that if you are considering a short sale, go to your agent that you're working with and say, are you having this short sale professionally negotiated? If the answer is no, I do my own short sale negotiations, just know you're probably not getting the absolute best service.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't want to pretend that there aren't folks out there that know what they're doing. The thing is what we preach is it's not the best use of your time as a realtor, and because you have to be on the phone. We're on the phone for 10 hours a day. All we do is sit on the phone, make calls, take calls. So again, it isn't the best use of your time. On that point real quick, I had a realtor tell me a couple of days ago that I'm controlling. I never used to. I don't like giving up my transactions. I made more money by giving you my files than I did while I was doing it myself and paying you guys to do it. So that means to me she's out getting more business.
Absolutely.
We're out.
Well, they're being able to help you out there a lot more instead of being on the phone negotiating.
Sure.
And it's a lot of work. I mean, you guys, it's never ending.
Right.
Instead, they're out there helping you find the home of your dreams, or helping find a buyer to sell your home so you can buy your next home of your dreams.
Sure.
That's what their job is. They're negotiating real estate, not short sales. There's a big difference.
Absolutely. And what you had said earlier about being able to sell the house and get back into a house a lot sooner than you would had you let the house go. We are seeing ex-clients, ex-sellers that are now buying again. They're calling us for things that may have been left out of paperwork that they didn't have. So it's kind of nice to hear from them that, hey, we're back in the market. We're buying. Yeah,
isn't that
absolutely.
cool?
It's awesome.
Because what Jeff's alluding to is the difference is a lot of you out there may have thought, what's the difference? I'll just walk from my home. It's upside down, and there's no value in me doing anything but just walking from the home. Whereas opposed to the option of short selling, meaning you are working with your bank as opposed to against them. Really, if you're foreclosing, trust me, you're working against them. They're not very happy with you. It happens.
The legal fees they got to pay on that is astronomical.
Right.
Absolutely.
So if you work with the bank and with a real estate professional, and preferably with a negotiating company such as Real Pro Advantage, you can work with the bank to do a short sale. I mean, they're going to accept a little less than what is owed on the property. And then they work together to sell that home, which gives you the advantage in numerous ways. One, it affects your credit completely different, a short sale versus a foreclosure. And two, it enables you to get back in the market sooner. When you foreclose, you're looking at basically, 4 to 7 years? Most cases 7?
At least 3 is the absolute minimum, and most cases 7.
Okay, and then if you do a short sale, we're talking you can get back in
2
as soon as
or
2.
3.
2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Huge. That 2 years goes by quick. It takes you 2 years just to get back on your feet in general. So think about it. If you did a short sale, like you said, Jeff, isn't it great? I mean, we're working with them we have one, March, ready to go.
Yeah, well, and I got one we just closed that was a huge success story because he was able to purchase 2 years and a day after. Okay, because we were actually able to start the process before the 2 years. You can actually get under contract before the 2 years. I just can't close until the 2-year anniversary. So we closed 2 years in 1 day.
I love it.
After he purchased with no mortgage insurance, avoided FHA altogether, and got a 90% loan to value.
Beautiful.
Sweet.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a great success story.
Great. Yeah, it's
very,
nice.
very happy.
Yeah, and then, we see it a lot, and we're starting to see it more.
So there's huge advantages working with a team, and we have some great short sale negotiators as real estate professionals, and a good percentage of them are smart enough to work with Jeff and Amy at Real Pro Advantage because you guys absolutely knock it out of the park. Okay. You make all of our jobs easier. You make the job easier for the lender. You make the job easier for the agent. You make the job easier for escrow. We know you guys take care of it. So when we come back, let's talk about a little bit, go back into the taper, or not the taper, and what's going on in the economy, in the real estate economy, because as a short sale negotiator, you see a lot of transactions, you see a lot of trends, you see a lot going on. We'll get your opinion where you think our real estate community is heading in 2014. When we come back to the Don and Gino